engaging their talents to enhance their productivity and profitability. So over the course of training, for the last 30 years or so, I realized that every person has a talent. But the question is, are you using your talents to feel empowered in whatever that you're doing so that you can constantly enhance yourself, enhance your productivity, and enhance the profitability of the company that you're working for, right? So if you feel that, yes, you're using your talents and you feel empowered at work, please do type yes in the chat so that we can see how many of you are actually starting off the year feeling very empowered. And for those of you who would actually like to enhance your performance this year for 2024, just type in 2024, 2024. Okay. So please, let's make this an interactive session because this is a session for you. And we are here to basically help you, in whatever way to help you to be empowered itself. Okay, so we see that some of you have put down that, yes, you'd like to. We have Rachel and Elchan who would like to get more empowered this year. And we have Tiru, who is actually already very empowered and likes to have superpowers after this. Okay, so what is the 3E VIP? The VIP stands for our virtual interactive platform. And this is something that we started during the pandemic, where we wanted to be able to give away to the public, to get everyone to interact, to learn, and to take away something that would benefit them. So it's a free talk, and there's absolutely no catch in it as well. Okay, and so we've telecasted actually 48 VIPs, and today is the 49th VIP. So as you can see, I'm not the only speaker of the VIP session. We've had various speakers from different parts of the world as well. And sometimes even some lighter, more enjoyable sessions, right, to help you become more engaged. So if you'd like to know more about us and you'd like to follow us, you may join us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. And to those of you who are also joining us on Facebook Live, welcome to the 3E VIP session as well. So please do like and follow us because there's lots and lots of goodies and tips that we constantly share on a daily basis to help you to constantly feel more motivated and empowered in your day-to-day life. Okay. So just a couple of housekeeping rules before we start. Please do mute yourself so that we don't pick up any unwanted background noises. And thank you so much for being on time. We'd like to start on time and finish on time. Please do switch on your video so that we could also interact with you and see your reactions. I hope that you've come prepared, especially for today's session, because there's a lot of very, very important tips that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I'm sure that you'll be able to find something that's useful to take back. And I hope that you've also found a nice quiet place so that nobody disturbs you and that you can dedicate this 1 hour for yourself. And last but not least, have fun, as this session is for you. And we're here to help you to answer any questions that you have. Okay. So for those of you who would like to get an e-certificate from attending this program, please stay on until the session concludes. At the end of the session, we will actually show you how to claim your e-certificate. So we do issue e-certificates from 3E if you'd like to have a copy as well, right? So the topic for today is on a program that we actually run called PAVE, which is all about your performance. It's about your performance, your potential, your personality, insight assessment profiling, right? So the team thought that this would be a good topic for me to start off the year to actually give you some insights on how you can enhance your performance, your potential, as well as your personality, okay? So I will be giving you some very important tips on how you can enhance yourself. And I will also show you possible ways that your company will also be assessing you, assessing your performance, and how can you actually enhance your potential and your personality so that you can use it to the best of your ability in your organization. Okay. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sandra N. Gauss, the founder and MD of 3E, and I've spent many, many years helping employees, companies, marginalized people, refugees, communities to increase productivity with the hope of helping them achieve a better quality of life. So how many of you would like to achieve a better quality of life? Can we see a show of hands, or please type 1 in the chat? How many of you would like to achieve a better quality of life? Okay, Shavindran. Yes, you'd like to achieve a better quality of life. Anyone else? Nurakila, Retouch. Okay. So don't just sit back and listen to the session. Please do interact with us. And if you have any questions, do type it in the chat or raise your hands, and you can unmute yourself and ask the question as well. Okay, so in today's session for the next 1 hour, what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be showing you or helping you to understand how you can master personalized strategies. So all the strategies that I'm going to be mentioning may not be applicable to you. Not every one of them you may want to adopt, okay? But I'm sure that there will be certain strategies that you would like to take on so that you can actually elevate your career to new heights. So as I go through the points, do reflect and ask yourself which of these pointers would be helpful for you. Okay. And you may even find some of these pointers useful for your family members or for your colleagues or for your subordinates. So please do, take note of this and share it with the others as well, right? So we're going to talk about the change of mindset towards work commitment, values, and culture. Why do we need to have a change of mindset? And how can we get onto a transformative journey of self-discovery and professional growth? So I'm going to be showing you the app that we use. I will also be showing you the areas that are important to management, and what are the areas that they look at when they look at your career growth. Okay. Now, bottom line is every one of us are unique. Do you agree or not? That whether you're Chef One, or whether you're Datin Siti Nurhaliza, or whether you're Bill Gates, or whether you're the char kway teow seller on the street, yeah, we are all unique. Each one of us have our strengths. Each one of us have our preferences. And the beauty of it is that whatever personality we have, whatever our level of performance is, whatever our job is, we can always progress. So progress is very, very important. Can anyone tell me, why do we need to progress? Yeah, as I said, please type it in the chat or unmute yourself and just share with us. Why do we need to progress? We're moved into another year. Why do we need to progress? What's in it for you? Can we get some quick inputs from you? Perhaps Noor Haryani, would you like to tell us why do you think it's important for you to progress? Don't be shy. You can either type your answer in the chat or just unmute yourself. Or Amir, why do you think we need to progress, Amir? I believe, okay, as Shavindran says, progress ensures improvement, tackling challenges, enhancing our quality of life, fostering innovation for a better future. Yeah. And Rachel says for self-improvement. So Definitely, problems are going to happen every day. Difficulties are always going to be there. But if we progress, we can actually, yes, as Noor Haryani said, we can see how far we've already achieved. Yeah, we can upgrade ourselves for a better life. We can become stronger to handle the difficulties in life as well. Yeah, as Siti said, no regrets later. Yeah, I want to live my life to the fullest. So every one of us have a different reason why we'd like to progress. Thank you for your answers and keep them coming in as well. Okay. Now, let me just share with you my own little story because I just turned 55, by the way, and it was a time for me to sit back and to take a look at my life and to ask myself, what have I done with my life? How have I progressed? And where would I like to take my life for the next 30 to 40 years, if permitted? Okay. So I took a look at my life and I decided to share this with you, right? Um, so this is me. I was born in a little simple average family of three girls, and that's my dad. Okay, so I'm sure you can guess who I am. Yeah, I'm the youngest one here in the center. And I was the shy little girl who just listened to my parents and especially my grandmother who brought me up, who taught me how to be a good person. Don't give anyone any trouble, be a good child. If you go to someone's house, they ask you whether you'd like to drink, even though you're thirsty and dying, say no, thank you, because you don't want to trouble anyone. And so I was eager to come out and to travel the world. I just wanted to get a job. Okay, and I wanted to travel the world. So of course it's almost everyone's dream to become an air hostess. But when I went to line up for the SIA and MES interview, I couldn't even get through the interview because I was 2 centimeters short. Okay. So that was the end of that dream. So then I said, okay, what should I do next? So I was this 18-year-old girl or 17. Yes, not 18 yet. And I said, what should I do next? And it was 1986 during the recession. So I said, well, I can't be an air hostess. Let me join the hotel industry. And at that time, the only job that I could get was to work as a chambermaid, cleaning hotel rooms. So I had to take 2 buses to work, have a little uniform, given a list of 28 rooms to clean, and a very strict supervisor who would come to see whether there was a speck of hair on the floor. Okay. And then salary would be deducted if we don't do a good job. So I was there as a chambermaid cleaning hotel rooms. And then I saved up my money and went to do my A levels while waiting for my results. I joined a company called Memory Lane. Okay, where I joined actually initially as a telephone operator. And um, the first day of work itself, I stayed back and I tidied up the table because it was messy. And I said, I don't want tomorrow to be messy again. And I worked very hard. And then I stayed back and helped the manager with data keying in and so on. That 4 months later, the chairman came up to me and offered me a job as his PA. And he said, the only reason why I'm offering you the job is that because you can speak English, because he never went to school formally and his English wasn't so good. And he said, I need you to help me with my written English. Okay. So I was there as the PA to the chairman. I had to learn how to manage the management team, handle meetings, and so on. And then I started the admin and personnel department of Memory Lane, the greeting card company of the group. Okay. They didn't have an admin and personnel department, and that was one of our management photos, yeah, at an annual dinner. And so I ran that. And then I got married. So that was me. I had an underwater wedding. Yeah, just had to be different. And then I also ran an advertising company for the group. Okay. So my boss figured that I was getting bored with my job and he said, I bought an advertising company. Can you see what you can do? Knew nothing about advertising, got in there, worked, I don't know, 20 hours a day, learned to live on 2 hours of sleep, cried every day for 7 years. But I learned how to sell, I learned advertising, and learned how to manage people and crisis and a lot of things. So training, I did it as a hobby. Okay, it was something that I was thrown into, and I realized that I enjoyed teaching people. So then when my kids came along, I decided that, okay, advertising is not the kind of industry I'd like to be in if I want to be a hands-on mom, because there's too many last minute urgent work, right? And that's when I started the training department for the group. Okay. And of course, my family grew, and I worked with the group for 26 years. All right. And then at the age of 40, everything started to fall apart. Okay. My marriage fell apart. My job fell apart, and everything was just going downhill. Right. My mother passed away from cancer. My father passed away from a heart attack. And I just felt everything that I had achieved in life. Yeah, I had money, but a lot of it didn't mean anything anymore. All my loved ones had disappeared. Okay. And so I turned back and I went back to church because I'd left church for 22 years, being a rebellious person. I came back to church with the hope of building up my spirit, my courage, my strength. Okay. And so over the last 15 years, things has changed. I came out from the training industry and I decided to start. Somebody invited me to get involved in the wellness industry, something that I totally knew nothing about. Okay, but all I knew was that there were a lot of women who were struggling and who were searching and who were stressed out. And I said, I want to bring in natural therapies and natural products to help them reduce their stress. Okay, and so I started Fleur de Vie, which is French for flower of life, and started a little wellness center. And I was running the center with my other partners and so on. And then I realized that, okay, it's not an easy business to run. It was not going to bring in a lot of income. And so I went back to training, something that I was used to, and I founded 3E 10 years ago. Okay. And I then also got involved with NAWEM, which is the National Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Malaysia, where I learned a lot from all these strong women entrepreneurs. Some were single, some were married, some were widows, some were divorced and stuff like that. But they were all learning how to be successful women entrepreneurs. Some of them were very, very successful already because NAWEM is already 30 years old. Okay. And so I got involved with NAWEM, where I also, and in my business, I had to do a lot of training. I emceed for a lot of events, got involved in a lot of event management, which my advertising and admin background helped me with that as well. Okay. And got involved with United Nations and with HRDC and everything to also help the marginalized people and refugees to become empowered. So through that process of empowering people, I also, of course, empowered myself. Yeah. And then, of course, we started to work with international trainers, started to do training overseas as well. And then, of course, as we know, we all were stranded with the pandemic. So it was also, once again, changing our mindset, pivoting to survive. Yeah, my determination was to keep the company going, to not get rid of anybody, to not have to cut salaries and to pay salaries on time throughout the pandemic, which we were able to. Okay. And then, of course, there were overseas trips. We took people to Spain for training, and many, many different other types of trips. We started a lot of online training as well. And then my ex-husband was sick. So I went back to look after him for a few months, and then he passed away. And now I have my two children who are actually grown up, but unfortunately, they're not here in Malaysia. Yeah, my son's in Europe and my daughter's in Australia. They're back for holidays at the moment, but otherwise, they are building their own lives. And I have my two little bodyguards, okay, my little Boo Boo and Elfie, who are my 24/7 companions, okay, who actually run my life now. And so when I look back at it, did I know where my life was going to be when I was, when I reached this age of 55? And the idea is no, I knew I was going to work. I knew I was going to get married. I knew I was going to have kids. But other than that, in terms of the experiences, the people, the things that I have learned, um, it's been an incredible journey. And I know that for the next 25, 30 years, yeah, if permitted itself, I know that the journey is going to be even more exciting. And this is where I'd like to share a little quote that my mom wrote in my autograph book when I was 6 years old. And it's a very simple quote, but a very powerful one for me that just says, good, better, best. Never let it rest till the good is better and the better is best. Okay. And this I realize has been my driving force, that whatever I do, I try to do it well. I try to do a good job, right? And every time I do it, I ask myself, how can I make it better? Because at the end of the day, I'd like to be one of the best. And what I've realized over the years is you can never ever reach the best, because things are all, if we're progressing, the world is progressing, the best keeps on moving all the time. Okay. But as long as I don't let it rest, as long as I keep on finding better ways and trying to make a difference, I think that's where I live. For me, I will live a very satisfying life. Okay. So if you have not reflected on your life for a long time, I hope that before the end of January that you would actually sit down, and put pictures together like this as well of your own life and take a look at your journey so that you can ask yourself, are you happy with this journey? Right? Um, what have you learned? What have you experienced? We can never be entirely happy because, as you can see, things are going to happen. Many things not within our control is going to happen. But I always tell myself my purpose in life is whatever talents that I have, I'd like to be able to make a difference. Yeah, I'd like to be a great mom. I'd like to be a good friend. I'd like to be able to use these talents, especially to help a lot of other people. Okay. So ask yourself, what is your, um, you know, perception? What's your view of your life? How would you like it to be? And ask you, are you the best version of yourself at any point of time? In our own little imperfect way, in our own little imperfect body, in our own little imperfect life, are we the best version of ourselves? Okay. And identify at least some goals that you would like to achieve this year. So I have identified 11 goals, which consists of career goals and health goals and family goals and my own personal development goals, some material goals, but 11 key goals that I would like to focus on to achieve this year, to be able to become a better version of myself, right? So you don't have to have many. If there are three most important goals, please put those three goals down and achieve it happily. Okay. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by sharing with you a ladder to career success. Okay. And there are some very, very good and practical points in this. So as we go through the points, just ask yourself, are you actually putting these elements into your ladder for your career success, right? So once again, if you have any questions, please do, or comments, please do type it into the chat. And we'll try to help you along the way to answer those questions. So the first step in the ladder is a self-assessment. Okay, so how many of you actually do a self-assessment often? Like after you finish your day, at the end of the day, to actually ask yourself, was it a good day? Do you have that conversation with some of your good friends? Do you have that conversation with your spouse where you ask each other, how's your day? Was it good? And to actually ask yourself, did you use your strengths? Did you work on your weaknesses? Did you make it better? Okay. So self-assessment includes identifying your strengths and weaknesses, right? Rachel, you say seldom. Why, Rachel? Why don't you assess yourself? And many people, when they come for interviews, they actually ask me, when I say, what's your strength? They say, I don't know. And they say, you tell me. And I said, how can I tell you? I don't know you, right? But you need to identify your strengths, because once you identify it, then you can put it into action. Then you can ask yourself, am I working based on my strengths? Okay. Too tired after work? Yeah, too tired after work, sure. Take a breather, take 1, 2 hours. But when you're having your shower, for example, yeah, or just before you go to sleep, you need to pat yourself on your shoulder. Every day, pat yourself on the shoulder and say, yeah, it was a good day. I managed to do this. I got that done. I learned something new. I managed to finish this task, which was pending for a long time. I'm happy. Okay. So this self-assessment is very important, because if you want to wait for people's feedback, right, they may not know you entirely. You are the best person who knows yourself. And you got to be confident about knowing yourself and believing in yourself. Okay. And to help you to do that, set your clear goals. Yeah. Define, even if you are not sure, write it down. It's okay. If you need to tear up that piece of paper, tear it up. But when you write it down, it helps your mind to actually focus on the kind of life that you would like to achieve. And I should think that you are the most important person in your life. Only you know what is right for you. Only you know what makes you happy. Only you know what you can and want to achieve. Okay. So do your self-assessment, a quick one every day, right? One at the end of the month, when you're actually looking at last month and next month. One that you do maybe every quarter. Okay. And then finally once a year. So just do this, even if it in its roughest form, it will help you, right? The second step in the ladder is education and skill development. So this is where you need to have your way to continuously learn, to stay updated on industry trends. Okay. So identify a few people whom you would like to have conversations with, maybe once a month, but you know that by chatting with these people, they love to talk, and they will tell you all the industry trends. So instead of you searching for it, just call up that person. Hey, have you heard about this Madani grant? What is it all about? And they will spend half an hour already briefing you and telling you what you should do. Okay. So you should have a couple of people in your industry, or in your circle, whom you know will, over a cup of tea, over a quick chat, or even just by WhatsApping, they will tell you what's the latest. Okay. Belong to certain Facebook groups, belong to certain Instagram groups, belong to certain, follow certain people on LinkedIn. Reading their posts on a daily basis itself, or just picking here and there, I guarantee you every day you can pick up at least 3 new points. Okay. And by the end of the year, you have at least 1,000, a minimum 1,000 new points of knowledge. Okay. So continuous learning is something that you need to continuously do. Formal education, pursuing your degrees and so on. Like I'm going to be doing my executive MBA in Singapore in March. Okay, that's one of my goals, one of the 11 goals. And because I don't have a degree, but I'd like to be able to get a formal degree. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Soft skills, something that is so important today. Okay, improving our communication skills, asking ourselves, am I a good team player? Right? So we need to be able to identify these soft skills and the new skills that we want to acquire. Right? So as I'm saying this, if you feel, yeah, that's a good point, I should do something this year, put it down straight away as part of your action plan. Okay. The third step in the career ladder is networking. Okay. Very, very, very important. Being able to build professional relationships. All right. Through belonging to a particular association that is linked to your career. Okay. Attending the events, you get to meet people, you get to network, you get to build new connections, right? Creating your online presence. Do all of you have a LinkedIn profile? Very, very important that you have a LinkedIn profile. If you are a professional, you need to have a LinkedIn profile and you need to follow people, you need to connect with people. Okay. Also, mentorship. In your network, you should have at least one or two mentors. These are experienced professionals who can help you in your life, in your career. So I have a business mentor. I have a finance mentor. Okay. I even have certain religious mentors. So these are people who help me to enhance the areas of my life. So instead of going through trial and error, I can talk to them and they are experienced, they are sharp. They can give me the advice and help me, yeah, to pick up the necessary skills and knowledge that I need. So it's like a shortcut. All right. So be clever to also identify the mentors that you can constantly keep in touch with. Okay. Fourth step, to gain experience. All right. So this is where if you are still studying, or if you have children who are still studying, please let them go and take up internship instead of sitting at home. Let them go out. Like my daughter who's studying marine biology, she's on 3 months holiday, but currently now she's in Bali on an internship program, right? Learning about, last week she was learning about reef conservation and actually working and helping to replant reefs. And today she just sent me videos because they were studying the manta rays and the sunfish and the sharks and so on. And in this 2 weeks, she was doing like, I think 22 dives and stuff like that. So all this will help her in her career in future. Okay. Gain experience by getting involved in projects that will actually showcase your talents. So I did a lot of that when I was younger as well. And from there, that's where my boss also recognized and gave me the opportunities. Okay. So opportunities will come your way if you are prepared. Being involved in projects helps them. Doing volunteer work, all right. As I said, being in an NGO, being in an organization that is aligned with your career will help you with the context, will help you gain more experience. So you're volunteering, you're helping, but the amount of experience that you will gain is incredible. Okay. So I would strongly advise every one of you to get involved in an NGO, which will also be able to assist you with your career. The fifth step of the career ladder is performance and results. So this is where you need to take a look at your own performance and results and to ask yourself, are you constantly striving and producing high quality work? So afterwards, I will show you a grid where you can actually see the difference between a high performer and an average performer. Okay. Part of performing is also being able to solve problems, to be able to handle challenges. So the more challenges you can handle, the bigger the problems you can solve, you will become more valuable in your job and to society as well. All right. So take initiative to improve things. There are too many people, good people, talented people that I see around, but they don't want to take initiative. They just want to to achieve the bare minimum, right? Or to do the bare minimum. But I feel that there's a lot of waste, in terms of their talent if they don't take initiative to do something different, to bring about change, okay, and solutions. The sixth step is, which is very, very, very important, is adaptability and resilience. Okay. The world is tough. Yeah. The challenges are getting harder. I was telling my kids the other day, I said, can you imagine, 30 years ago when I started working, we didn't even have handphones. We didn't have, Google and stuff like that. Um, if we wanted to make a decision, we had to, even emails wasn't in at that time. Okay, we had to write a letter and then you wait for weeks for a decision to be taken. Now we are doing it around the world within seconds. Okay, so because of that, change is going to be very fast. Yeah, we need to be open to that change. We need to be excited to learn new technologies. Okay, we need to, as fast as these changes are going to happen, failures are also going to be even more. So we got to be able to learn from these setbacks. Don't take anything personally, because at the end of the day, time will go by and people will forget a lot of things, right? So don't take it personally. Don't take it to heart as though your world has come to an end. Use these failures as opportunities to bounce back, to grow stronger, okay? And always maintain a positive attitude, because there are many negative energy suckers around. Yeah. So we need to be able to maintain a positive attitude, to be adaptable and resilient. The seventh step in our ladder of success is visibility, okay, which is effective communication, public speaking, and leadership roles. So through these three ways, we can make ourselves visible. When you are visible, people will be able to give you more opportunities. They can see your strengths. You can showcase your strengths. Okay. Now, by this, I don't mean be a peacock and go out there and start talking and trying to show off on everything, but basically be visible through your actions, okay? Through the way you communicate, through the way you lead on projects. The eighth step of the career ladder is professional development, all right? This is by attending conferences and workshops, going into advanced training, and very importantly, to stay inquisitive, to keep on asking questions and to seek knowledge. Little children are like that. They ask a lot of questions. As we grow old, we stop asking questions, so we stop developing ourselves. So keep on asking questions to understand better. The ninth step is strategic planning. Okay. If you don't have your own career roadmap, please sit down. You can also come and talk to any one of us, and we will help you to try and chart it out. We can give you templates to help you chart out your career roadmap. Also have a long-term vision of where you are and what you want to be. Okay. And network with purpose. So a certain amount of networking should also be with purpose. Yeah, so that it matches our strategic plan. The 10th and very, very, very important aspect, okay, element of the career ladder is to achieve a work-life balance. To work hard, but to also play hard, okay? To look at your health and wellness. Without your health and your wellness, you cannot achieve anything. So I read a statement that says, you are successful if you have a healthy body and a calm soul. And I think it is so powerful. Just this fact, to be fit and healthy and have a healthy body and a calm soul. Because when you have a calm soul, your mind will also be well. Okay. And practice mindfulness so that we can stay focused, so that we feel that we are breathing and we know that we are breathing healthily every day. Right. So I hope that those 10 steps of the career ladder has given you some insight on how you can actually enhance your career step by step by step. Was it helpful? Please type yes in the chat if you found those 10 tips helpful. Okay. Now, very importantly, is to be flexible, to be adaptable, to be resilient, and to be willing to learn and change. If you do this, I tell you, you can be 90 years old, 95 years old, and you will still keep going. Just this morning when I was taking my dogs for a walk, I saw this old lady. You know, I always see her either in the garden or she's pulling her trolley and she walks. She actually walks to the market. She doesn't drive to the market. She'll walk up and down the hill, and we have a very steep hill. She goes to the market and buys her stuff. And she said, do you know, she looked at me and she said, do you know I'm 93 years old? I was born in 1931, she told me, you know, and I like to go for a walk every morning because it keeps me fit. 93 years old, she will put, I tell you, a lot of 60-year-olds to shame. Yeah. And if you look at it, she definitely has resilience and flexibility and willingness to learn and change. Yeah. By herself, no walking stick, still walking up a very steep hill. Okay, which even I struggle to walk her. She can do it. Okay. So in our career itself, we need to be able to also take a look at how can we unveil our true performance and potential so that we can catapult to career success. Okay, and what we do in 3E is that we actually have designed, over the years we came up with the right formulas, and we actually designed a program as well as an app to help people be able to put all this in a nutshell. Okay, so and we call the system the performance assessment and values evaluation, where we look at the performance, potential, personality, as well as their values. All right. And we actually come up with a profiling tool, where everything is automated. Right. So what it does is that in our assessment here, it actually looks at your performance, your potential, your personality, your values, as well as your managerial competencies, right? And so to start off with, I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of everything. For performance values rating, we actually put people based on various tools that we use. We put them in a 16 grid, okay? The highest being high performance, high value, where people who fall in this category should be given opportunities for growth. Okay, right down to the lowest, which is low performer, low value. All right, so this is someone whose performance is not up to par, it's low, and their values are not good. It does not match the organization's values. And usually people who fall in this category, we recommend the company to put them on a performance improvement plan. Okay, so everybody that goes through this assessment and rating will fall eventually in one of these categories, based on performance as well as values. Okay. Okay, somebody wanted to see point 2. Is it here?
No, Miss Sandra. I think just now you are highlighting the 10 points, right? So, yeah.
You missed out point 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Point 2 is on education and skill development. Okay, for continuous learning, formal education, and soft skills. Yeah. If any of you need any of these slides, or you need the recording, we usually do share the recording with you as well. So you can also take a look at that. Okay. So I give you an example of a candidate who actually fell into the above average performer. So not a high performer yet, but above average and above average value. Okay. So the definition is this person has a good to excellent feedback of performance from their line manager. They have a strong personality insight score. So we conduct a personality insight and their scoring is strong. It shows that they have a strong personality. They have good last year's performance rating in the company. They are a strong individual value and it's aligned with the company's corporate values. Good career potential, can be groomed to take on bigger and more challenging roles. So usually for a person like this, the current implication to the organization is they can produce good results with minimal supervision, good interpersonal skills and team player, no major disciplinary faults, able to impart their knowledge and help enhance the skills of others, able to deliver more for the organization. So they are like the star players, the good role models. And we also highlight to the individual as well as to the company that the potential future risk is these are the type of people that companies will try to headhunt and pinch them. So the company needs to engage them, remunerate them well, give them good challenges. Otherwise, they will get bored and they will leave the company for bigger opportunities. So through our assessment, we can actually give feedback to the individual as well as the company where they stay, where they belong to on the grid. What's the definition? What's the current implication to the organization, as well as the potential future risk? Okay. Now, what else does this assessment reveal? It reveals the individual's personality. And we use a personality profiling called DOPE, which we are using the older version, which I find is far more accurate than the current version that you would find online. All right. So it would give you a profiling of the person, a description, and what is their shortcoming as well. Okay. So it grades them based on their ability to persuade and sell, whether they're a supportive team player, are they analytical thinkers, methodical, logical thinkers, are they organized, and can they control and lead? And in terms of their personality, are they more warm and friendly, people oriented, or are they cool and aloof, task oriented? And do they come across as being more confident, assertive, and bold, or shy, non-assertive, and retiring? Okay. So this personality insight profile will highlight what the person does best, what do they struggle with, and what's their action plan for improvement. So we actually have this dialogue with them as well. Okay. The third area that this assessment gives feedback on is whether or not this individual has a dynamic culture mindset. Okay. So we rate them on poor, average, and good in 4 areas: collaborating to achieve, continuously improving themselves, passionate to be the top, and their winning mindset. Okay. And we can actually, through the assessment, describe each of these categories. Yeah. Where are their strengths? Where are their shortfall in terms of their values mindset? And then we can come up with a summary that says that, okay, their values mindset is average. They can become better if they can become more assertive, outspoken about improvements that needs to be made. So good person, but when it comes to the values of the organization, she is not strong enough to help the organization achieve what it needs to achieve. So good performer, but values-wise, shaky a little bit. It's just average. Okay. We also get feedback on 10 company elements. So the 10 elements are processes in the organization, the role challenge, the values of the company, the work-life balance, information, reward system, the management itself, work environment, product, and digitalization. Okay. So we can actually give you a score and tell you the areas, and red are the ones that she's actually scored lower in, and what are the main problem areas. We also can describe it. Okay. Managerial competencies, we assess them on 15 managerial competencies. So if you aspire to be a manager, if you are already a manager, you need to take note that these are 15 competencies that you will be assessed in an organization as well. Okay. So here we actually get the assessment of the manager, of the person, and their own assessment of themselves, plus our neutral assessment. Okay. As a neutral assessor, we can actually say which are the areas that is a problem and what is the problem that the person needs to change it. Okay. The other findings is especially when we conduct this for an organization, is we can get the line manager's input of the person's strengths, weakness, opportunities, threat, their performance, their potential, their values, our assessment of her assessment of herself, inputs from her to the line managers, to HR, to the company, and finally our recommendations for development and potential. Okay. So really, at the end of the day, when we present our reports, we can highlight, and if we do this for an organization, we can highlight the strengths, the day-to-day culture, the senior management focus, what they should focus on, what HR should focus on, next steps and recommendations. Okay. So it's a lot of information that we give through this program, this assessment. And at the same time, we will also consult the individual. We will counsel them. We'll give them tips on how to improve. We actually become the discussion partner so that they know how they should improve. Okay. All right. Why is this important? In a company itself, everything starts off with a vision mission. And sometimes there's confusion between partners, between directors. When that happens, the strategy can get can be disunited, can be defrayed. And then that's where the goals become unclear and not inspiring for the people. All right. That then causes the structure to be distorted. The processes can be not aligned, and there could be a lot of wastage of resources. The systems will then be outdated, and that's where the people become unproductive. All right. So at the end of the day, what happens is that the company may not become result oriented, and there's a lot of wastage of time as well as results. Okay. So it's very, very good for an assessment like this to be done, because we can then find out where the organization is in terms of these areas, as well as who are the people that are good, that have potential, who are the ones that needs to be fixed. And we can always go back and give them this feedback so that they also have time and opportunities to improve themselves, right? So there is a need to for an organization to have a united vision, mission, strategy, and goals, and to take all these individual strengths. We know that everybody is unique. We know that everyone has their talents. The key is how can we pull it together to make it the company's total strengths and get everybody to complement each other, to collaborate, cooperate, and not compete. And because if not, what's going to happen is this is a typical situation where you have the organization who's supposed to be moving towards this goal. This is the owner. He set up the company. These are the goals they want to achieve. But when everything is deframed and not united, everybody, the cart goes nowhere. Okay? And that's where you see everybody trying very hard. They're not that they are bad people, right? But they are working very, very hard, getting very frustrated, but not achieving the goal. All right. So an assessment like this can really help to change, to give people feedback rather than it be top-down management. We can actually help the organization to achieve a win-win management, right? Where the leader gets the people and works with the people to deliver what the customers want. Okay. And to make the customers happy, right? So there are many areas in the organization that needs to be fixed, that needs to be assessed, that needs to be looked at. And through this assessment, we can actually give you feedback of yourself and as well as your organization, right? So I'm just going to, same thing, for the organization, we can show you charts like this. So we tell you overall for the entire organization, where do your people belong, in which category. We can highlight them by organization chart as well and tell you by department where the performers are, where the non-performers are as well, right? And give specific feedback in each area as well, right? So I'm just going to show you very quickly, but all this can be shared with you or can even come to your organization to present it. Same thing with personality profiling. We can show you where the strengths and weaknesses are, what is the makeup of most of the people in your organization, okay? And same thing with culture, the 10 company elements. We can give the rating, how good, how strong are each element, all right? What are the areas that needs to be improved in? So bottom line at the end of the day is we can enhance our career through our performance, our potential, our personality, and our values, right? So don't settle to just be second best or, to just go to work and just do your normal job, but instead try to do things on a daily basis to build yourself to be your best. Okay. So I've come to the end of my session, but before I open it up for question and answers, can we just put on our cameras and take a quick group photo, please, everyone? Yeah. Just put your cameras on so that we can just take a quick group photo. Hi, Tiro. Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year, Sandra.
Nice to see you. Dorothy, Rachel, thank you. Norharyani, thank you. Yeah. Hi, Sharizan.
Hi, good evening. Nice
Good
sharing. Thank you for sharing.
evening. You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope it was useful. So I hope that you can put, yeah. Let's just take a quick photograph. Retouch, you
Alright.
got everyone?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, thank you
3,
very much.
2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So, any questions that you need me to answer, anybody, please unmute yourself, or you can also type your questions into the chat. No questions? So it means you either didn't understand me at all, or I covered everything that you needed to know. Why Sam Altman got fired and rehired back? I have to read about Sam Altman first and tell you what happened. But basically, there are some times that people get fired and rehired back if management changes. Okay, so sometimes there's a personality clash. Yeah, sometimes there's a personality clash where you have bosses or you have owners of companies who only can work with a certain personality, right? And they find that, and that's why a personality profiling is something that's very important as well. so that people actually get to know the people that they're about to hire. We've seen many examples of that where wrong personalities were put together to work and the dynamics just cannot happen. Okay. And it's, it's disaster from day one. But the minute we switch people to different bosses, we find that the personalities are able to work better together. So sometimes it's that, sometimes, you're just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And if you join the organization 2 years later, where things have changed, you would be the right person for the job. So that also happens. Yeah. Sometimes it could be that you did take a certain action which was totally unacceptable to the organization, and there was a huge impact which the organization couldn't handle at that point of time. So they told you it's best to go, and then later on realize that actually maybe you were right and they need to bring you back as well. Okay, so there are many reasons, no one answer. Okay, Shavindran, how do you handle challenges and setbacks? What strategies do you employ to maintain a positive mindset during difficult times? Okay. If you were with me right from the beginning when I was actually showing you how I've been through various, stages of my life itself, I definitely have become stronger in terms of handling challenges and setbacks. Okay. And at the end of the day, I ask myself, what's most important to me in my life? And if those areas are good, the rest of it, I look at it as an opportunity. It's happening for a reason. It's an opportunity for me to learn. It's an opportunity for me to sometimes stop what I'm doing and to pivot and to change and take a different direction. Okay. So sometimes we need to be like a catapult. Yeah. We need to be able to fall 10 steps back or 2 steps back in order to catapult and move 10 steps forward as well. Yeah. So over time, I have developed this ability to, as I said, not take things personally. There are many things that has happened in my life which I was unsure, and I would talk to the experts and get some help, or I would read, or sometimes I'll just say, let me go with my gut feel. Yeah, so I know that there's no surety, but all I can do is to use my experience and knowledge and try to do my best. Yeah. How do I stay positive during difficult times? I think there's a few things that's important to me. As I said, if my health is good, my kids are fine, I have a home to go home to, I have good friends, everything else can be sorted out. So I don't try to fix everything. I don't try to live in a perfect world. I don't try to have a perfect life. Yeah. But I always try on a daily basis to be happy and to try, to achieve as much as I can. So I hope that helps you. I'm a simple person, and I like to, just to work with simple things. So every day I would start my day by knowing that I have 3 goals that I want to achieve for the day. And that's what I focus on, trying to achieve those 3 goals. And every day those 3 goals are different, and by doing that, I find that every month I achieve some I fail, I've learned new things, I've experienced new things, some are good and great times, some are setbacks. And it's fine. Yeah, I just take one day at a time. But versus when I first started off, I used to be highly strung. I wanted to plan everything. I wanted to set goals for everything. I wanted to push for everything. And then I realized I just tired myself out. I just burnt myself out completely trying to do and achieve everything, you know. So at the end of the day, I ask myself what's most important, and it's my health, and I need to be happy. And I just go with that. Yeah. So 50% may work out the way I want it to be, 50% won't, and that's fine. Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah. Sandra, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know whether this is the Malaysian culture where work is concerned, that those who have retired, and then they want to continue working again to be rehired. All right.
Mm.
Of course,
Mhm.
Malaysian work limit is only 60 years old. But then when they come to you, because they know you have your experience and everything, but the moment they know that you're above 60, and then they say, oh, we don't have permanent, we don't have contract. So wonder, this Malaysian culture, Malaysian company culture. So there's a few of us, we feel that it's really unfair because
Yeah.
we still got the energy to work.
Correct.
We don't want to waste the experience that we have.
Correct.
Why is opportunity not given to us,
Yes.
opportunity not given to us?
Okay.
So this is my question.
Sure. The great news, Rachel, is that this is going to change. It's going to change very fast because the government has just launched the Madani empowerment program. Okay.
Okay.
And part of the Madani program, there are 5 groups that they want to help. One is the B40. The other one is employees of MSMEs, the micro, small, medium companies. The third category is the retirees who are willing to go back to work.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
The fourth one are ex-convicts, prisoners with minor offenses. They are also going to help them to go back to work or to be able to earn an income. And the fifth category is the person with disabilities, the OKU. So there are proposals currently already being submitted to focus on one group, which is the retirees who want to go back to work. So these are specifically for people who are age 60. The opportunity, they're going to come looking for you, Rachel.
Okay,
all right. Where
thank
the
you.
training is the training is going to be free. It's going to be fully sponsored. And after the training, you will have some training is tailor suited towards helping you get a job, and there will be already companies who will hire you. Okay. The second one is to help you to learn how to earn your own income. And this program will also get you started to earn your own income. So you have a choice. They are going to come after you because the grants are going to be given out. They are going to be looking high and low for people like you.
I see. Okay.
So you
That's
will
good
be
news.
yeah. So you will be given a choice of to choose whether you want to learn how to earn your own income. That means run your own little micro business. Or 2 is to be placed in a company where the training comes together with a confirmed job for you.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So the government, like you, knew that that was a loophole, and so that's why they have put the I think it was I think they've pumped in something like 180 billion or something like that for this entire initiative.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I think as fast as March, April, people will come knocking on your doors. And you will have lots of choices, Rachel. This is
Okay.
something that under the Madani government itself, they are putting this forward. Yes. So look out for that. The opportunity is going to be there.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Sandra. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. All right, there's another question from Tiru. How long does it take to execute the PAVE system? It is actually very fast. It can be done in as fast as 1 week or 2 weeks. So meaning that if a company or an individual in fact wants to go through this whole system, we can get it done for you very quickly. So even in a company which has, let's say, for example, 40 employees, within 2 weeks, we can run the entire program and people will get the results after 2 weeks. Okay, Thiru? right? So it's something that can be done very, very quickly. Okay. So if there's no more questions, the upcoming, just a quick announcement, our next VIP next month is going to be on February 22nd. And the program is going to be called SIS. The talk is going to be called SIS, which is Stepping Up in Stilettos. So it is specifically targeted to women on how can you actually step up in your heels, in your stilettos. Yeah. How can you get stronger in your role? And for those of you who'd like to get an e-certificate of attendance for today's program, just scan the QR code here, fill in the Google form and click on submit. And the e-certificate for today's program will be sent to your email within 48 hours. If you don't get it within 48 hours, please do check your inbox and your spam box because it may go in there with the volume of certs that we send out as well. All right. So if you go into the chat, the link is also there. You can click it and straight away fill up the Google form as well. All right. So with that, I hope that today was useful for you. Thank you so much for your time. And if there's any questions about what we presented today, please do contact Sue. That's a number and that's the email address. And once again, please do follow us on our social media to keep in touch with us. And I shall see you next month, right? So Kong Hee Fat Choi to those of you who'll be celebrating Chinese New Year next month in a few weeks. Yeah, and for the rest, happy holidays and enjoy the rest of the month. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night.